Welcome back, viewers and gamers, for another review. Now today I'm going to be talking about the new Metro Last Light that's been released. I've beaten it in about 12 hours on Ranger Hardcore mode. The game did suffer some problems for release launch, and the way I fixed it was I was able to, edit the INI file and pretty much was able to change the resolution and play the game. Hopefully this fix will come out today, but like I said, I was able to play the game, small problems done. Some people are still having crashing problems or not able to play the game. Hopefully this will get fixed. Another thing that will probably bug you about the game is that the game did have an unfortunate DLC where if you didn't pre-order it or got the special collectors, you don't get the hard mode in the game, which is Ranger mode. And there's been a lot of complaints on the forums about it and people getting angry. If you haven't heard about this, you might want to look up into it. It's going to be ultimately up to you if you want to buy the game or not, because like I said before, I did enjoy the original 2033, so I went ahead and pre-ordered it before it released just to do this video and to play the game and enjoy it and to talk about it, and that's where my main point is. I want to go ahead and get into the controls of the game first. The game does support pads control. I plugged in my 360 pad, tested out how well it was. It was pretty decent. However, my main controls are always keyboard and mouse, so I did that as a test. Keyboard and mouse works very fine. Everything worked well for me. The options, the ability to configure the keys if needed. Some of the missing stuff from the option, which people will probably bring up, is the FOV slider, which cannot be changed in the INI files. I've checked everywhere, couldn't do it. There's other options that can be tweaked within there except for this, so hopefully they'll fix that. The first category I'm going to talk about the game is the graphic of this game is absolutely gorgeous this time and very detailed. Especially in terms of talking about the textures and the environment of the game. The lighting is very well done. The effects are very nice and even the characters look nice, which really adds a nice sense of immersion for the game. And mind you, this is the PC version I'll be talking about. It really made a huge difference over the original 2033. I've also heard it looked pretty nice on the console version. Provided now there are certain areas in the game where the textures are not at its greatest, but since everything else blended so well, I didn't even notice it until I actually went over and took a look at them. Now I guess the point that's not the strongest about this game is the physics of objects. Sometimes you see an object, you're going to shoot it, and you think it's going to explode, or maybe a wall will break down, reveal a secret. It doesn't. The game doesn't have physics for objects as the strong points. You're not going to break certain things, or, it's not basically Crisis 3, but sometimes barrels don't roll off or break up. I mean, certain things will break like glass and boxes, whatnot, but like I said before, this is a small thing that can be overlooked and hopefully something to be reconsidered about in the future. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the AI of the game. It's pretty decent. Some of the things I'll tell you is that your enemy doesn't really give a damn about you regardless of what mode you play, because if you play stealth style, what's going to happen is you can walk right up to them. As long as you're not under light, they'll just ignore you pretty much, unless the light on your watch shows up blue, which is the detection mechanic of the game. They'll converge on you and try to kill you. The other thing I noticed is that once the AI does detect you through the mechanics, they'll stop at nothing to shoot you down, even in the dark. If you're in the dark, you can't see anything, you peek your head out, you're going to get shot, especially in Ranger Hardcore mode, because it only takes 2 to 3 shots to get you down. The AI doesn't really try to flank you or whatnot, they just kind of basically see you. But the good news is they do work as a group to kill you, so that's why they said it was decent. It's not too stupid, but at the same time it's meh. And the mutant AIs on top isn't anything groundbreaking, but they do come at you in groups, and sometimes they'll, attack you from the sides. You don't even see it coming because they're so fast. But that's a decent AI up there. The story of the game, I'm gonna recap real quick without spoiling 2033. The game recaps 2033 through the intro. The game itself is a follow-up from 2033. If you haven't played it, it's basically where the game starts you off as part of the Ranger for the Order, who gets assigned a partner. You go and track down a Dark One, an alien mutant-looking being, where you'll get captured by the Reich, and from there the plot thickens. I don't want to go too much into it. Sometimes the story can be a little bit confusing, but it was a pretty decent story at best. The gameplay as before is that this is a first-person shooter. The game unfortunately is scripted and linear, pretty much straightforward from there. So pretty much you can play the game in stealth mode, or you can go gung-ho and shoot everyone up. Unless you're playing Ranger hard mode, you're gonna have to sneak around a lot because ammo's scarce, and yeah, everything else kills you in 2 shots. So usually if you do get in a firefight for the upper difficulties, you're going to be hiding behind corners, sneaking out a little bit just to shoot them. So you'll be killing humans underground, and also on the top level you'll be killing mutants. You got spider mutants and wolf mutants, flying mutants, shrimp mutants, all sorts of mutants. You can sneak past some of them, but majority of times you'll probably get caught and go into a firefight with a group of them. In areas where there isn't pretty much enough oxygen, you'll be wearing a gas mask. The gas masks come with filters that you have to constantly replace. There's a timer on them, about 6 minutes before it wears out and you start choking to death. If your glass on your mask gets smashed in, you'll probably get choked to death also. So it plays a very important role on the upper levels, and also it plays an important role in immersion, which I'll talk about later. The health in this game is pretty much self-regeneration. There's no med kits or stuff like that. You pretty much have to wait it out for yourself to be healed up. See a red flashing screen. And collecting ammo is good for this game because in actuality the ammos in the game are used as certain currency. You can actually trade off your ammo, get this ammo currency for it, and pretty much upgrade your guns a bit, give you a little bit of boost. Ammos can be found on dead bodies or on certain hidden stashes out there, along with diaries around the map. And speaking about the map for the game isn't that big. It's big enough, but it isn't like a huge area you can just explore everywhere. It's just a decent sized area, so you get a little bit of exploring and finding some secrets from it. And every after so missions, you'll go back to town where you'll be able to interact with the town, listen in on the hardship of the people or the entertainment that's going on. You can also join in on some of the entertainment, and it's pretty fun to listen to the stories and the fun dialogues of all sorts in the town. It really brings the game to life in this part. Next is my favorite subject to talk about. The immersion level of this game is absolutely very, very nice. From the atmosphere up to the top with the rain and the violent storms, the clear night when the moon is showing, the waving of the trees, the sounds of the animals and the mutants and the insects out there, the fog effects, the water, just churning whenever you're close to it because the mutants are going to swim out and try to attack you. Really, really well done here. And also note that when you're wearing the mask, if you got bugs flying around, it'll splatter on your mask. You got acid on your mask, rain and cracks that develops. Pretty much you'll be forced to wear a new one whenever it gets really, really cracked up. It just gets completely obscured by your enemies. And if you combine all these elements, the mask and the animals and the sound that goes on, the environment, the backdrops, when you combine all this, it makes for a very solid immersion. When I was playing this, I felt like I was in a post-apocalyptic world, and it was downright spooky, so well done. Finally, the game is a single-player game. There's no multiplayer, where when you beat it, you'll probably never play it again into the far future. You can probably play it again and make different choices that affects different people's lives. And also the ending, I will definitely go ahead and do that because I want to make different choices for the game, so I'll go play it again because I actually have to make sure that the choices actually affect it. My verdict about the game is that if you look past the situation about the DLC and small technical problems from launch, you'll take your time with the game and enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the storytelling of the game through the town folks. You'll get yourself immersed into the game and find that this is a pretty decent game. The game is fun, and for what it's worth, I did enjoy the ride. I got my money's worth, I guess, since I only paid $45 for it. Maybe the game is a better price later on, since you're forced to pay the $5 for the extra hard mode, and you might want that, and since you don't support that kind of stuff, you should probably wait for the sale price to get it. Whatever, as long as you get to play it, or you can go rent it. I don't care how you do it, but otherwise, that's it about Metro Last Light. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to fan up, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll keep working on next games. I hope you enjoy the next clip, which will be part of the gameplay clips I made for this one piece, and what I was talking about, show you some of the immersions, and remember, game on.